In this video, we will learn how you can automatically create appointment in Bookafy on Google Form submission. So let's say you run a business and you use Bookafy for appointment booking. Now you want every time a new response is submitted in Google Forms, an appointment should be created in Bookafy. So we are going to integrate this entire process using Pabbly Connect. Come to my screen to see how we do this. To automatically create Bookafy appointments from Google Form responses, let us first go to Pabbly's website. You can see the landing page of Pabbly. On the top right, you can see two options, sign in and sign up free. Well, if you sign up free, you will get free tasks every month. So do not forget to sign up. Since we already have an account, we will just sign in. Pabbly Connect. On the top right, you will see a Create Workflow button. It will ask you to name. We will simply name Google Forms to Bookafy. Create. It will show you two windows here, Trigger and Action. Trigger is when this happens. Action says do this. So our entire automation process would be based on these two steps, Trigger and Action. Let us understand this with the help of an example. A trigger can be when a purchase is made. An action can be send a confirmation message to the customer. In our case, a trigger can be when a response is received via Google Forms. The action can be book an appointment on Bookafy. So let us begin and use Google Forms as a trigger application. For the trigger event, we will select new response received. You will see it has generated a webhook URL. A webhook URL is basically a link that connects to applications. So we are going to copy this URL, read these instructions here, and then paste it. So for that, I will take you to my form. This is the form that I have prepared, doctor appointment. You can see here the header of the form is, the form name is clinic appointment here. Then the name, email, phone number, date and time of appointment, then medical problem, all these details are here. So right next to questions on the top, you will see responses. Click there. Then click on Google Sheet button here, create spreadsheet, it will say. Select a first option, create a new spreadsheet. And you will see the spreadsheet has been created with this name, clinic appointment responses, and it has the same fields, name, email, phone number, date and time of appointment, medical problem, the same fields that we had created in our Google form. I'll show you. You can see these fields. It has the same fields here. Okay. Now coming back to Pabbly, we copied this webhook URL. Now come back to Google Sheets. On the top, you will see extensions button. Click there. Then click on Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Then click on Initial Setup. And remember the URL that we had just copied from Pabbly. Just paste this URL. And then for the trigger column, we will select column F, that is the last column. So what will happen, the moment the last column, that is column F, gets filled, Pabbly is going to capture the details of the entire row. Okay, so let's just submit. It says setup configured successfully. All right. Again, click on the top. Go to Pabbly Connect Webhooks. This time, instead of initial setup, we will click on send on event. Okay, so what will happen is whenever a new row gets added here, whenever a new form is submitted in Google Forms and a new row is added here, an appointment would be booked on Bookafy. Okay. So now coming back to Pabbly, you will see it is waiting for a webhook response. Now let me take you to the form and quickly do a test submission here. So to check if Pabbly is successfully connected with Google Forms. All right, this is my form. I'm just going to preview it. Fill in these dummy details here. Okay, I filled in these dummy details. You can see the name, email, contact number, the date of and time of appointment, that is 15 September. 2022 and the time is 9 o'clock in the morning, and then the medical problem is hair problem. Let us just submit the dummy form. Submitted. Now I'll show you in the Google Sheets. You will see the row has been added here. Now let me take you to Pabbly to see if it is able to capture the response. And yes, it has captured the response. You can see here the name, demo, dummy, the email, the contact details here. The problem, medical problem, date and time of appointment. Okay, so this means we have successfully integrated Google Forms with Pabbly Connect. Now on to the final step, that is the action step. We will write Bookafy for the action application. For the action event, we will select create a new appointment. Let us connect, add new connection, and you will see it needs a few details like API key and booking page. So for these details, let me take you to my Bookafy account. This is my dashboard. On the top right, you can see a settings button. Click there, go to settings. Now come to the left hand side and you will see integrations. Now on the top you will see a lot of options like website, in-frame, full contact. Come to the last, you will see API. Click there and you will see API key. Come back to Pabbly and paste the API key. Now it needs booking page in this format, in https:// and this till .com. Okay. Now let me take you to page where I have to make the appointment. Okay, so I want to make the appointment in next week here between September 12th to 18. Okay, now on the top, just copy this URL till .com as it is mentioned here in the example. So now just let us remove / and save. This means this shows it is connected. Now for the service ID, you can select a 15-minute phone call or 30-minute meeting. I'm going to go with 30-minute meeting. Then for the appointment date, let us take it from here, from Google Forms. You can see these details are here. Before we proceed further and map in the date, you must be thinking where exactly are we getting these details from. So I will take you to step 1. Where we connected Google Forms with Pabbly, did a test submission. Pabbly captured this response, these form details. You can see the person's name, their problem, the date and time of appointment. So Pabbly brought exactly same details here, and that's how we are going to map it. So for the appointment date, we are just going to map. But the thing is, here we have date as well as the time. However, in the format, it just needs date. So what we are going to do is, we are going to just scroll above, add a step in between and select text formatter. For the action event, we will select split text, connect the two. So what we want to split is the date and time because we only want date and not time. So for the separator, we are going to use this space. Like you can see, we are just going to copy the space and paste it. So what it will do is, this is going to split this date and time of appointment from this space here. Okay. Segment index would be all since I will need both. Just going to save and send test request. And you will see it has splitted date and time. Okay. So this is the date that we are going to use it in the next step. That is, now we are going to reconnect. Why? Because we added a step in between. Since we are already connected, we will go with existing connection. Save. Okay. And now we will going to map appointment date from here. Text formatter. This is the date. Now it needs start time. Okay. So again, we'll try to take it from here. But as you can see, the date of appointment and time, they are together and in this format. However, here we have to give in a different format. That is the year, month and date. Then it needs T and then the time zone. Alright, so for this, we are again going to add a step in between. And what we will do is, we will select date and time formatter. For the action event, we will select format date with time zone, connect. And here we are going to give this date and time of appointment And from this format, so our date is in the format of, like we said earlier, it's in the format of month, date and year. So from, say, month, date and year. Yes, this is the date format. So from this format, that is from month, date, year, we need the time in date and time in year, month, date format. Okay, from time zone, our time zone is Kolkata. So from this we want same, it remains same, Asia Kolkata, since our time is already in as per Asia Kolkata. So we are just going to save and send test request. And you will see it has given us the result in this format. That is, you can see the year is there, then the month is there, then date, and then this was the time, 9 o'clock in the morning, the appointment time. So now this we are going to map in here in the start time. But before we map in, let us also take a look at end time. So what it needs is, it also has to be in this same format. So now what we will do is, since we have selected 30-minute duration here, 30-minute meeting, so we are going to do this manually. Add a step in between. Again, select date and time formatter. So for the action event, what we will select is add or subtract time here, then connect. So now what we have to do is, we have to basically, so now enter date, we will take it from date time formatter. This was the time, the appropriate format that we needed. So we are going to take this. And now what we want is, we just want to add 30 minutes here. That would be the end time. I will write end 30 minutes. So what will happen is, let's say the meeting starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. Here I will tell you the meeting starts at 9 in the morning. So the end time what we want is for 9:30, and therefore we have added plus 30 minutes here. Okay. So the two format would be, like you can see, it's R is in year, date, year, month and date. So we are going to select that, saying yes, and the T format. So year, month, date to this format. From this format, again that is going to remain the same. Save and send test request. And you will see it has given this timing, this 4 o'clock timing in the UTC. This is in the UTC format. So now we will convert this from UTC to Asia Kolkata, that is as per our time zone. So we will again add a step in between. And for the action, we will again select date and time formatter. For the action event, we will select format date with time zone. Connect the two. And now we will take the date from last step where we added 30 minutes for the end time. We are going to take this, and this is going to remain the same from format to format. And now from here we will do from UTC time zone, we want in Kolkata, Asia Kolkata. And now let us just save and send test request. And now you will see it has given us the end time in this format. The end time is 9:30 as we calculated here, and we added plus 30 minutes to our starting time of 9 o'clock, and therefore it has given us 9:30 here after we converted it from UTC to Asia Kolkata time zone. And this is the date that we are going to use in end time in this step. So before we map in these details in Bookafy, let us just reconnect. Why we are reconnecting? Because we added several steps in between. And since we are already connected with this, so we are going to go with existing connection. Okay, these fields we had, appointment date we had already mapped in. Now comes the start time. So start time we are going to take from the third step. You will see this 9 o'clock in this format. You will now check the format. It is the year, month and date, then T and then the time. Okay, and end time we are going to take it from the last step, that is 9:30. So now for the duration we are simply going to write 30 minutes And now I just noticed that in the appointment date, we have given the wrong format for the date. Like you can see, it needs the date in this format, that is year, month and date. Whereas we given in month, date and year format. So this one is wrong. So let's just remove it and quickly format the date. Scroll above, add an action step in between. Select date time formatter. For the action event, we will select format date only. Let us connect. Now we need the date that has to be formatted. So we are going to take it from second step where we split it date and time. So this is the date that we need. Now we are going to select this date's format. So this date is in, you can see here, month, date and year. So that's the format we are going to select. So you can see the date currently is in this format, month, date and year. So from this format, we need the date in, if I'll scroll, this format, year, month, date. We want the date to be, yes, this format, year, month and date. So we are going to click this and save and send test request. So we got the date in relevant format, that is year, month and date. Okay. Coming back to Bookafy, we're just going to reconnect. Why? Because we added a step in between. At the same time, we are going to go with the existing connection because we were already logged in and connected to Bookafy. Okay. So now we are going to map date from last step, that is text for date and text formatter. This is the appropriate date format. Now let us scroll down. For price, I'm just going to write 0. For title, I'm just going to write hair issue. Okay. For description, I'm going to take it from Google Forms here. Like you can see, medical problem is the hair problem. Customer name, again we are going to take from Google Forms, demo dummy. Now comes the customer email. Again we are going to take from step 1 Google Forms where we received the response. This is the email. And we have filled most of the details here, like you can see. All we need to do is just save and send test request. But before we do that, I just want to tell you a quick thing about mapping. That once these details have been mapped in, these fields have been mapped in, these fields from next time will automatically be updated. So what will happen next time when a new form is submitted here, a response is captured by Pabbly. So these fields that we have mapped in, appointment date, start time, end time, these fields will automatically be mapped in here, will automatically come here of the new response, and you will not have to manually do it. Okay, now let us just save and send test request. And you will see we have received the response and it is success. Like you can see, response message is success. This is the appointment ID. It has generated the appointment ID as well. Then the service, that is a 30-minute meeting. Service ID is here and so on. So now let us go to Bookafy and see if there is this appointment marked on the calendar. And let me just refresh. And you will see for this date, for 15th September, a meeting between 9 to 9:30, start time is 9 till 9:30, has been created on the name of Demo Dummy. This means we have successfully integrated our Google Forms and Bookafy using Pabbly Connect. I hope this video was helpful for you. For more such videos, you can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. For further queries, you can visit forum.pabbly.com and you can also check our pricing details at www.pabbly.com.